Welcome back, students. This is your dean, Count Xevious. Today, we have a very heart-touching story from one of our students, DariusPent's. He's had a tragedy in his life, and this is a story about how the community came together and helped him ease a little bit of his pain. That said, I'm going to pass the baton over to Darius. Darius, it's all yours.
Thank you, Dean Xevious. This is DariusPent's here, and I want to start by thanking my PvP Academia for hearing me out on this story and being willing to shoutcast this tournament footage with me. To briefly go over the situation. So my local tournament organizers had scheduled our Nightfall Cup to begin on December 3rd upon my request because my wife and I were expecting our first child on December 19th, and I knew I'd be too busy becoming a parent to do any battling. But on November 23rd, we went to the hospital because our baby's heartbeat had stopped. My wife powered through an intense delivery. We took pictures of our beautiful baby girl and held her and said our goodbyes. You would think that something like this would make me want to pull away from doing any kind of battling or any kind of anything, really. I guess the competitor in me wouldn't rest, so I made a request of the tournament organizers, and they graciously named the event in honor of my daughter's memory. So the story of the Maryville, Tennessee Nightfall for Sarah Grace tournament is really the story of a Pokemon Go community that rallied around one of their own in a time of great need. They attended the funeral, they wrote heartfelt condolences, they cheered me on in the tournament, and one of them even created a fundraiser to help support my wife and I while she recovers and is unable to work. I'm forever grateful to them for honoring my daughter and for caring for me in one of the most meaningful ways I know of. And again, I really appreciate and I'm honored that this channel is willing to show this story. I really think it's worth telling. On my part, this was never about doing well for ranking. This was not about me making a name for myself. This was entirely... It was two things. The first is I wanted to do something for my baby girl because I never got to do anything for her in life. And the second was the grieving experience was not what I thought it would be. Most of the time I'm functioning okay, to the point that I've wondered, is there something wrong with me? I'm not crying when I thought I should cry. So I wanted to win so that I could cry. I wanted to feel that. So this was really about her. And everyone rallied around me, and everyone in Maryville Pogo, thank you all so much for standing by me in this time.
That's a really heart-touching story, and I understand how you reacted. Everybody has different coping mechanisms, and there's nothing wrong with you. It's just people are inherently different, and inherently they cope with things differently. It's okay to not cry. It's okay to cry. It's okay to want to do something. It's very normal. One of the reasons I love Silph is because of the community aspect of it. Silph has done so much for me. Pokemon Go as a game has done so much for me. I came to Belgium knowing just one person in this entire country, and now I have friends, I know people who I can call, and that's the entire prospect. And Silph really inculcated this fact into every PvP player that, you know, you're a part of the community now. We're there for you, and we're gonna do stuff for you, and that's amazing. Let's get straight into the video, basically. Darius, walk us through your team. I already see this really spicy looking Zangoose.
Thank you, Count. Yeah, I believe I recall a certain dean of a certain academic institution telling me in the comments of a video not to bring a certain Pokemon, and then I did anyways, so shows what kind of upstart student I am, I guess. So I always list my Pokemon in Pokedex entry number order, so Venusaur first. My favorite Pokemon always has been. Blaziken I brought because I wanted to imitate the aspect from Forest Cup where if you give it some energy, it can really just sort of landslide everything. Also, I knew a lot of things would be weak to fire in this cup. A lot of people love their grasses, they love their Stunfisk, they love their Frostlass. So if shields ever get down and Blaziken has energy, you better watch out. Medicham is there for being a reliable fighter. People wonder what the moveset is. It's bulky. I needed some kind of bulk in this team because there isn't much. I'll skip over to Frostlass and talk about Zangoose last. Frostlass, one of my favorite glass cannons to use. Before I even looked at the rankings, I knew I was going to use it when I heard the rule set announced, and then I saw it was number 1, and I said, no, fair enough. Using it anyway. Glaring Stunfisk, Earthquake, Wreck, whatever you want to hit with, and it's reliable. You really just have to keep it away from fighting and mud boys. Circling back around to Zangoose, I spent a lot of time on my PV Poke team builder. I try to form balanced teams that can react to most situations when possible, and preferably teams that do not have a lot of shared type weaknesses. And I was trying to figure out, is there something that can break the core? I saw a lot of people favor Glade. I saw a lot of favor, obviously, Stunfisk and Frostlass. Is there anything that can beat all of those? And so I did a bunch of research, and I found Zangoose. Zangoose can claw down through Frostlass. It can take out a Stunfisk. If it ever gets a Night Slash buff, then close combat, one-hit KOs Stunfisk. That actually happened to me in a practice battle with someone else who was also using Zangoose, and it was hilarious. And so I knew I wanted that on the team. And then Glade, it's doing Shadow Claws on the psychic typing, and you get out those Night Slashes at least as fast as those Leaf Blades. So all you have to do is keep it away from the tappy taps, and it'll actually put in work despite its low ranking.
Sounds pretty interesting. I would love to start watching and see how your team does, because Blaziken and Zangoose seem very spicy. All right, now we're gonna go into round 1, and Professor Sergio, is going to take over to have a chat with Darius on what he thinks about the opponent and the team.
So looking at your opponent's team, what were your thoughts on his main weaknesses? Is running what we call the tap team with Wigglytuff and the Shadow Victreebel, I assume.
So I try to bring balanced teams to win 2 out of 3 of all potential matchups I think I'm going to see. So first thought is Medicham is fairly safe. Yes, you have to keep it away from Wigglytuff, but it can threaten everything else, even Venusaur. I saw that he brought Blaziken. I'm pretty sure we were the only 2 in the entire tournament, so I immediately had a smirk thinking that he got the same memo of doing that Forest Cup swing. And I expected to see Glade or Stunfisk as a third. I wasn't sure which ones he thought I would bring. I knew Venusaur was also a good choice for handling both the taps, and it can threaten even Stunfisk if you give it enough energy. To briefly go over who my opponent is, Rascal Flats and I were kind of fated to face each other almost every tournament first round. No matter what our rankings are, it almost always happens. So we already knew this was going to happen. Real great guy. He's been incredibly supportive of me during this time. I included a lot of pictures of some of the things that he sent and told me, and that he was rooting for me the whole time. So absolutely a terrific guy. So yeah, I was excited to play him round 1 again.
All right, so Stunfisk into Wigglytuff. This is an amazing lead. It's almost like a dream scenario for your team, because you have Medicham and Blaziken at the back. This means that this was the best thing you could see right now.
Yeah, it helps when you can avoid getting the one weakness when you double down. I don't know that he would expect double fighter, so that's kind of why I wanted to try it.
All right. Sounds good. You go straight for the Earthquake. Of course, the Galliard has the shield. And yeah, you tried to get to the Rock Slide. Unfortunately, you couldn't. But I guess now is the time when you bring Medicham.
Oh, you went close combat.
Yeah, I've noticed a lot of Gallades, at least in practice and from the videos I've watched, they like to go close combat first because people think to not shield it, but I was willing to let it go at that point. I wanted to steamroll with Metacham, especially because I was running Psychic, and a lot of people are going to shield their Gallades so they can win back switch.
Alright, that makes sense. I think he has no shields now, or he has one shield. You just let it go. He has no shields. This means that the Wigglytuff is gonna get an Ice Punch. And you try to sweep with Blaziken, I guess.
Right, so putting to the test the Forest Cup theory, and he got the same memo. He's actually a tap ahead, but I have a shield, so that worked out.
That's great. Blaze Kick for the win. Or did you go Blast Burn? You went
I'm
Blast
pretty
Burn.
sure I went maximum overkill
you
just to make a statement.
And just for the record, that no shield on the Medicham, on the Leaf Blade, was really amazing. Yeah.
Thank you.
So game 2, we have not a positive lead this time with Medicham into Gallade. So let's see how you are going to play it. So you charge up until a Psychic and you go directly straight Psychic. No shield. Ooh.
So Rascal's a talented trainer, but he's newer at Silph, and I figured he would expect me to be running Ice Punch and Dynamic Punch, mostly from his Go Battle League experience. So starting to realize I did a lot of no baits in this set until about now. So it really worked out for me that he didn't know that I had Psychic on that.
Yeah, and now you are going straight Rock Slide to force basically shields because you are expecting him to farm down, but don't give up a little energy advantage to G-Fisk in this cup because it can really be deadly. And you succeed to as well launch a Rock Slide on the Wigglytuff. That's going to be rough, I guess, here with 2 fighters against Medicham, but I think you are going to be able to, of course, win it.
Yeah, so even though Blaziken is squishy and it's up against the Charmer, it does have fire typing, and Wigglytuff is part normal, so you can counter your way through with enough of a damage deficit on the Wigglytuff or enough energy in positive for Blaziken. In the third game, I did win, but I learned something important. I tried to pull off 2 Ice Punches from Metacham on Wigglytuff and learned that you can't do it if it's not an XL Metacham, which mine is not. It's only a Best Buddy. So that was important for future sets to learn that.
Okay,
that's a nice advice.
All right, now that you won round 1, so you're gonna go into round 2 against J00V2, who's running a pretty spicy team. He's running 4 off-meta Pokemon.
This is actually his first Silph tournament ever. He's not a local. He found our tournament through the Silph website. But it was interesting because we actually did a lot of practice matches together, including matches involving both of us using Zangoose. So I was really disappointed he didn't have it on his team. But I knew he liked Flygon. I actually had considered Flygon for my team as well, but didn't go with it because it doesn't beat Frostlass. So looking at the team, Triple Fighter, Metacham is safe, Frostlass is safe, Venusaur can handle most things, especially if you give it energy. So the 3 I wanted to go with were pretty set in stone. I didn't need to bring Stunfisk at all.
Game 1, you're leading Medicham and you get Poliwrath. This is an amazing lead, mostly because you're running Psychic. He's going straight for the Ice Punch because I don't think he charged up to a Dynamic Punch. Oh, Power Up Punch. Okay, that's spicy.
Right. So I'm thinking Power Punch, Hydro Pump, maybe?
Yeah, that's what I would think too. Okay, so you went Power Punch, Ice Punch. That is also a very interesting combination, and I'm also surprised you didn't think that you didn't shield the move, because I probably
Wanted to
would
make
have.
him prove it.
Fair enough. So now you charge up all the way till psychic, so that you can either force him to shield or you do significant amount of damage with your, chip it down with ice punch. Oh man, you got greedy there. He farmed you down, and this
I did
toxic
get
rook.
greedy.
Yeah, and this toxic rook is gonna do some work, because if he goes sludge bomb, that's gonna be a lot of damage. All right. So now that you've given toxic rook this much energy, what's going on in your head right now?
In my head, I'm thinking if I block one sludge bomb, I'll be okay. And he's done no mud bomb baits at all yet, which is interesting. And he keeps tapping away and isn't throwing mud bomb.
Oh, maybe he doesn't have mud bomb. Yeah.
So, swap into Blaziken, and lo and behold, it's dynamic punch.
Man. Let's see. This
I mean,
doesn't
you gotta
one
watch
shot.
out for
Oh my
people.
god, that is disgusting amounts of damage on the stun fist.
You
I've never seen.
gotta watch out. You gotta watch out for people who haven't done Silph before, because they'll bring things you don't expect. So,
Believe me, I lost 3-0 to a trainer. Yeah, it's understandable, but I've never seen a stun fist go down this fast before.
that's one of the reasons I brought Blaziken. I wanted that blast burn nuke on my side.
Fair enough. All right, game one's done. Game two, again, a very favorable lead for you, Medicham into Machamp. None of the moves that Machamp throws on you is going to, let's say, make you want to shield, because you do resist it, and with Medicham's bulk, you can just tank your way through the entire thing. So I guess you're going straight Ice Punch because you want him to shield, and also Machamp is in the tankiest of mons. You can survive this and still feint him down to be able to throw your energy on whatever comes next.
Yeah, throwing Psychic would have worked out better, but I wanted to avoid kind of an overdependence on no baiting, because I noticed I got away with that a lot in the first set.
Oh man, he calls the right shield. But now you know that he has Sludge Bomb and Dynamic Punch. You think you would be able to get to Blaze Kick before he got to his Sludge Bomb. Or you CMP.
Without the Mud Bomb threat, Blaziken can go in kind of fearlessly on a Toxicroak.
Oh man. This guy has to shield now, because I think he got a really bad lesson in the last game that it just kills. So at this point, I guess you come in with Medicham and make him throw and then get into your Venusaur to seal the deal.
Yeah, he dumped the energy into Medicham, and Venusaur has a shield, and so long as there's no Earthquake involved, doesn't really mind fighting a G-Fisk.
Alright. So you're respecting your opponent and throwing your energy. I really like that. Oh man, this is still going to be close though. I think this, if he had run Mud Bomb on the Toxic Rook, the games would have been a little bit more closer. But hey, you live and you learn.
Absolutely.
On your next tournament, JOOV2, watch our videos.
Okay, so for round 3, you are up against Curb21 with running G-Fisk, Abama Snow, Wigglytuff, Medicham, Shadow Victreebel, and Galate. What were your thoughts then looking at his team? What were you fearing? What were kind of your way of thinking on how to handle this battle?
So I really wanted to use Zangoose, but there are too many Tappy Tap Pokemon, and there's an Abomasnow instead of Frostlass. Actually, 30% of all my fellow competitors in this tournament had a trio of Gallade, with G-Fisk and Frostlass, and I have yet to face one in this tournament, which is a little disappointing. So I knew I needed to lean in on things that could handle the tappy taps, and other than that, if I can keep Metacham away from Wigglytuff, I can do well. I expected a Gallade safe swap, and you'll see how that turns out.
And we have a Medicham into a Gallade lead, so not exactly the safe swap you are expecting. Let's see how you are going to play it. So
definitely caught me by surprise.
Yeah, you decided to shield the Leaf Blade, and I assume you are going to bait with the Ice Punch. Shield on his side, and
at this point, I need Psychic to go through.
Yeah, that's very nice. Nice call on your side to not shield, and he lets the Gallade go with the Psychic. And he's coming with the Victory Bell. And you are going into a Venusaur and straight Sludge Bomb. Is that going to connect? Oh my god.
And an immediate sack into the Stunfisk.
To catch the Weather Ball, that's very nicely played.
Thank you. Yeah, that worked out really nicely. And you still had to respect Abomasnow, but at this point, G-Fisk has done its job, and I'm just waiting to mop up a Venusaur.
And you are going to, I assume, take the maybe the last shield here. Oh, we didn't shield, but this game is basically, I think, over.
Now, I expected Acid Spray, but I didn't want Razor Leaf damage plus a small amount of Poison Charge move damage to take me out, so I decided to shield there. I also didn't think he would get to a second.
No, I think that was the right move, even if it hurts to shield an Acid Spray. It's in this cup, I think that shielding an Acid Spray and shielding a Power-Up Punch are the two worst things that can happen. But sometimes you need to do it. It's a kind of a win condition, or you don't want, even worse, you don't want to lose with your shields because you didn't shield thinking that it was like a Acid Spray or a Power-Up Punch. So let's move to the second game. And let's see if he decides to play Gallade's safe swap. No, again, Gallade lead into the G-Fisk. So it's not a bad lead for you. And correctly shielding the close combat. And with this,
imitating the earlier round where close combat is thrown first, thinking that I'll let my guard down.
And it's an immediate swap into Victory Bell, and you answered with the Venusaur. You let the Leaf Blade go this time, and you are going to go with the Frenzy Plant, expecting a shield. That's a good call on your side, and you will be able to Sludge Bomb for the KO.
I'm really pleased how much work Venusaur put in.
Yeah, and now Venusaur is farmed down by Abomasnow, but you have positive answers in the back, and basically this game is GG. Venusaur, indeed, as you are saying, in my opinion, it's probably one of the best safe swap in this cup, especially against this very common line of three we are seeing, that is Medicham, Frostlass, and G-Fisk. Venusaur does quite well against those 3 months, depending as well on the moveset of the Medicham, of course.
Yeah, I'm also really pleased when Gallade switched back in. Getting to just erase it with Earthquake was so satisfying.
Very nice game.
Thank you. So I know we don't show thirds here. I did play a third. I'll comment briefly. I experimented leading Zangoose because I hadn't used it in the tournament. And I learned do not lead Zangoose against Tappy Taps, which is important.
I never faced a Zangoose in Great League, actually, I think.
Game 4, right?
Famous name here.
Game
Actually, I played him in Lille, this trainer.
Really?
Very good trainer. Yeah. He was like on the top 10 in the worldwide leaderboard.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
I don't remember where I saw the video, but there's a 6-0 Marsh Cup sweep that Jake Does Hurdles did that I had watched, and I recognized his name on the interested list for the tournament beforehand. I looked him up, and he was number 5 in the world before this tournament began. And I don't know how he even found our little local, but wasn't sure what I was going to do against the top 10 of the world, but here we are.
All right, let's see how game 1 goes. So you lead Zangoose. That's actually pretty clever, and you get a Gallade. That's really good for you. Immediate
This was
swap
what I
ins.
was. Sorry, this is what I was waiting for. Was finally a Gallade, Frostlass, G-Fist trio. Even if they didn't bring the full trio, knowing that Zangoose would be good against 2 of the 3. Even have some play against Swampert and threatening close combat on Lapras. Golbat, it loses to, but you just eat Poison Fangs and it's okay.
Mm-hmm. It's pretty interesting. The thing, what he did, basically, he threatened one shield and let his Golbat go, knowing well that the Gallade can now farm up a little bit of energy so that your Zangoose feels a little bit more threatened, I guess. So why bring in a Medicham? I guess you just wanted him to use his energy?
I wanted him to use his energy, but also I thought I could feint down the Gallade without revealing Psychic.
Oh, that is smart. But you still don't know what Pokemon he has at the back, right?
Right, but I was more concerned of it being a potential Frostlass. If it's Stunfisk, I know both my Pokemon can do well against it.
All right, that's a fair assumption to make, and your assumption was right. He brings in his Stunfisk and both your Pokemon. Of course, you don't have to. I don't think you need to go close combat with Zangoose. You could definitely just try to go straight Night Slash for the win. But you have close combat, so you decided to go for it, and he didn't shield. Oh my god. But I guess what he was thinking was that you didn't double up on the close combat, so you just didn't shield.
Right, kind of the Gallade on Stunfisk throwing close combat first play. People don't expect it. I tried to imitate that.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, game 2. Let's see what you do. Frostlass into a Gallade. This is a bad matchup for Frostlass because the Gallade gets to the Leaf Blade just before you get to your Avalanche. Yep.
Yeah.
So
my thought was that he would lead Golbat game 2 and lead Gallade again or lead Gallade maybe game 3, and I got it mixed up. So
it is still close. I wouldn't shield again because you could potentially get fainted down by the Gallade. But I guess you have very good IV Frostlass, and you know that you think that you can get to another Avalanche. Ooh, he lets it go. That's interesting. So now I guess your thought process is I'm gonna do as much damage to this Swampert as possible, right?
absolutely.
Ooh, Golbat. Don't tell me he doesn't shield this.
Well, the thing is that he's smart and he knew what I was building up to, so
Oh, that's actually perfect counting by him. He waited till you just about got to your your Night Slash. Oh man, this is amazing counting. Of course, this explains why he's top 10 in the world. He even remembered the Frostlass's counts and threw one before he got to the Avalanche. This Night Slash might put Golbat pretty close to the red, but I'm not familiar. Yeah. All right, that's actually
Yeah.
pretty good.
Jake does Hurdle's really putting on a clinic here of how to come back in a game 2. And then just a beautiful swap before I can build up any energy at all.
Wow. It's actually very impressive. As you saw game 1, he saw you running a line, and then he completely adapted his line to make sure that he could deal with yours. So now it's up to you to adapt so that you can try to pick up game 3. All right, Zangoose into a Golbat. This is a neutral matchup, if you ask me. I wouldn't say Golbat wins or Zangoose wins. It's gonna be Golbat wins by a little or Zangoose wins by a little. I'm not familiar with this matchup. How does this go?
So Golbat slightly wins out, just going Poison Fang. I had really wanted to align Zangoose on really anything else. Arguably, I should not have stayed in this long throwing Night Slashes, but at this point I decided, okay, we're going to throw, and we're going to give Frostlass an energy lead, and that's going to have to be good enough.
Alright, so that's a fair assumption to make, and he goes for the Shadow Ball, of course. And yeah, alright, he brings in a Swampert. I think with an energy lead, Frostlass can pick out this matchup. Because, yeah, Frostlass hurts, but so does Swampert. Let's see how this works out. Oh, you shield? Okay.
Well, I had the lead with Frostlass, so I figured I could get in another charge move, and then Medicham could always dust off the Swampert.
Mm-hmm. Oh man, that was CMP. Unfortunate on his end. But this Hydro Cannon does not KO. Maybe you could actually feint it down. Oh wow, okay. You go for an aggressive swap to give Medicham the lead. And even though it's a Gallade cannot tank the Psychic. He tried to catch the Psychic, but he failed. You need to hit your bubbles.
So, the reason I didn't hit the bubbles, he accidentally exited the game, and it lagged my charge move.
Okay.
So, yeah, he sent me a message saying that he accidentally clicked out of the game, and that messed up my ability to do the bubbles. If that cost me the set, I would have been really tilted.
Yeah, but I guess you had this in the bag. Gallade needs to land 2 Leaf Blades to win, and close combat does not KO. So you had this in the bag, whatever it was. All right, so now is round 5.
So in the finals, I was up against local native Red Dragon Wody. He's a good friend of mine. We go raiding and battling all the time, and he's one of the administrators of this tournament. And he is a really talented trainer. In season 2, he ranked the best of all the locals overall. But something I know about him is he loves using the meta Pokemon. He relies heavily on PV Poke rankings. With good reason. He makes really good progress in Go Battle League. What I knew from his team, he's got Frostlass, Swampert, Shadow Victory Bell, Clefable, Galarian Stunfisk, and Shadow Machamp. Out of all of those, the Machamp is what worried me, because the only real answer I had for it was Medicham, and then maybe a Venusaur safe swap. So my thought process for the final round was use Medicham as much as I have to, use Venusaur as my safe swap, and then at that point, it's a question of, is he bringing Frostlass, Swampert, G-Fisk, or even a double tap? So I figured he would lean into Victory Bell, Wigglytuff, or even both of them.
So it's a positive lead for you, the Medicham into the G-Fisk, swapping out into Swampert, and you have the perfect answer with Venusaur. So probably not going to shield this one. Oh, he decides to shield to land the Earthquake then.
Right, I was expecting Earthquake.
Oh,
It ended up being a
it's a
sludge wave. That was actually a huge sigh of relief from me, because I was concerned about Swampert, G-Fisk line both running Earthquake.
That makes sense as well. To run then Sludge Wave on the Swampert if you have the G-Fisk. And now the G-Fisk takes the first Frenzy Plant. Assume no shield on your side to come back with the Medicham. And is switching to the Victory Bell, but you almost have 2 Ice Punch ready. So you are going to take his last shield.
And I didn't want to reveal Psychic, so it just went for the Ice Punches.
And you go for the Earthquake for the sure kill here. And that's a very good first game where I think you perfectly read your opponent's lineup, and you countered it perfectly.
Thank
Let's
you.
see how,
I really wanted to win the first game because I expected something crazy game 2.
Let's move to game 2, and we have Venusaur against Shadow Victory Bell lead. So positive for you, let's say. And you go for the bait here, expecting a shield on his side.
Yeah, I know that he really likes his Shadow Victory Bell. He's been wanting to use Shadow Mons in Silph League Arena for quite some time.
And that's a very good call on your side to not shield the acid spray. And you are up 2 shields. Oh, but you are being just farmed down by the Shadow Machamp here.
Yeah, Machamp worried me a lot, and now I'm forced to bring G-Fisk against Swampert.
Yeah, and Swampert with energy lead. So
at least it didn't have Earthquake, but it's still not pretty.
Yeah, because those Hydra Cannons, they hurt. They hurt a lot. You go for the Earthquake here. It's shielded.
So at this point, I have to Slingshot with Medicham.
So here you go Ice Punch. I assume to try to farm him down and throw the Psychic at the Shadow Machamp.
Right, but the problem is that he clutches out a 1 HP and a Dream Hydro Cannon, which makes me wonder, should I have just thrown the Psychic instead? I'm not sure how many cross chops a Medicham can take from a Shadow Machamp.
Ouch. That was hard. Actually, that's why I'm running Dynamic Punch on my Machamp for those kind of situations. On my Medicham for those kind of situations.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
But, yeah.
I'm kind of surprised I didn't see more Shadow Machamp in the tournament lineups, but I was expecting it at some point from my buddy, and found it in game 2. I was really concerned about game 3 bringing Shadow Machamp again with really any of his weapons. I wondered if he would even go double tap on me.
Mm-hmm.
At this point,
how do you decide then to build your team for the last round that will decide the crown champion?
So my thought process is his Machamp beats everything I have except for Medicham. I need to keep Medicham away from Wigglytuff if I can. I'm going to lead Stunfisk. If he leads Machamp, I immediately retreat into Venusaur and just let it play out. And then when he brings in the Wigglytuff, if he has it, to throw a Psychic at it, because I have not revealed that move.
Mm-hmm.
And if he leads anything else, I leave G-Fisk in there for fear of it facing Swampert again.
Let's see then how the decided game, and it's Shadow Victory Bell lead into the G-Fisk. You go for the bait here with the rock slide. Let's see if there is a shield on his side. Yes, shield on his side. And
There's
you go
just
for the
enough space
earthquake.
for an earthquake.
Yeah, exactly. And he decided not to shield. So you are in a very good situation in this game then. Up a shield. And here comes the Swampert. Nice counting on his part, and the rock slide is enough. And here is the Wigglytuff you are fearing of, but you have the perfect answer with the Venusaur going straight sludge bomb here. And at this stage, I don't see how your opponent can win this match. Obviously, you are going to shield here, and then you are going to charge up a little more energy and throwing the sludge bomb that will KO this Wigglytuff. And he's coming back with the G-Fisk. So now, nice counting on his part, but on the other way, he's throwing his energy at your Venusaur, and then you can comfortably come with the Medicham. A bit of lag here.
My old nemesis, lag. I shield here because I didn't know if he got enough extra shots in for an earthquake. Medicham can tank one, but I really didn't want to risk getting hit by two of them.
Yeah. And this Ice Punch is going to be enough to KO the G-Fisk and to crown you as the champion of this tournament. So congratulations for that. It was really some really nice games here.
Thank you very much. So from the third round onwards, I was getting nervous because of the stakes of, if there's any tournament I want to win, it's this one. And so it took a lot of planning ahead, a lot of trying to calm my nerves and just play with a level head as much as possible. Respecting my opponent's abilities, they put on a terrific showing of competition and talent. And when the third game ended, knowing that it came down to a decision on shielding or not shielding an earthquake, I got to cry tears of joy and sorrow together, and it was a relief that I could finally do something for Sarah. So everybody was rooting for me the whole time, and I really appreciate their support. They've really helped me through this time, and I appreciate it.
We also appreciate you sharing it with us. Thanks a lot for being here. You have our full support, and if you need anything, don't hesitate to drop us a Discord or That said, thanks a lot for watching, guys. I hope you can let's say come together and also give your condolences to Darius. If you like this video, I don't even feel like saying it, but please do like, share, and subscribe.